Hey Parker, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite books, A Clockwork Orange. So Parker, I'm going to try not to get too spoilery. We're just going to go over maybe like the first half of the book, and then we're going to get on to the discussion topic. So not super spoily, especially not for the end. A Clockwork Orange was written in the 60s about some sort of like near future dystopia where ultraviolence is like all the rage among the youth, as well as like a horribly complicated slang language thing called NADSAT, which it's just horrible to get through for like the first 5 times you read the book. So this ultraviolence has become an epidemic. Gangs of youth are ruling the streets and adults live in fear. And we meet our horrible protagonist named Alex, and he is exactly that. He is very horrible. He commits crimes, he beats people up, he steals, he rapes, he commits car theft. He's just horrible. He's also very interested in fashion and music, specifically classical music, and specifically Ludwig van Beethoven. Later in the book, Alex is arrested for murder after a break-in, and he is sent to jail because this is like the last straw. He has a history of crime. Now we fast forward a bit, and Alex has been in jail for about 14 years and is thought to be like some sort of reformation-craving criminal because he is reading the Bible, but he is not reading the Bible for the scripture and the redemption and the love of God. He's reading the Bible for the violent parts because he's in prison, so he can't really commit violence, so the next best thing is to read about it. He's given the chance to leave prison early through some sort of like program with the government, and it's basically aversion therapy. He goes in, he is injected with a drug, and is shown very violent movies, and by watching these movies set to the score of classical music, of course, he becomes violently ill because of the drug. This is like aversion therapy textbook, pretty much. Funnily enough, one of these films is shown to Alex's favorite piece, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, and he can't listen to any classical music anymore. That's where the summation ends. I'm not going to spoil anything else. It's amazing. Everyone should read it for their own and get their own opinion on it. Now in The Clockwork Orange, Alex loses the one thing he honestly loves and holds in regard, classical music. This is the thing that defines Alex. He loves classical music. This is like the only thing that gives him peace. This is his passion. By effectively losing it through this government aversion therapy, this is like the worst thing that could happen. He's no longer sure life is worth living now that he can't enjoy his lovely Ludwig, as he quotes in the novel. So this is kind of like a almost kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He can't enjoy classical music, and he can no longer enjoy violence, which are like the 2 things that he likes in life. Alex has effectively lost his free will. He can't do what he wishes. He can't do what he loves in life, which is to commit violence and to listen to music. He's unnatural to himself in that he can't act without this aversion kicking in and rendering him violently ill or something along those lines, and his violent tendencies are gone, sort of. He can't act on them. They're still there, he just can't act on them. It's brainwashing. However, it can be argued that it's not bad brainwashing. Aversion therapy is used in a lot of phobia, and Alex went into this willingly enough at first. However, when he begs the scientists to stop using him as their guinea pig, they just ignore him and continue, which creates like an ethical dilemma that's a whole nother thing. There's also the idea of he's a prisoner, so does he even really have the ability to make decisions, or did he kind of forfeit that right to the state? In the end, Alex doesn't have free will and is pitied by the reader. He's a pretty horrible person, but you really pity him towards the end. He's a machine in a human body without his free will. He's inorganic in an organic life form. He is a Clockwork Orange. In short, my entire argument can be summarized in like one quote from the book, which is, "Goodness is something chosen. When a man cannot choose, he ceases to be a man." And it's a pretty obvious quote. Without choice, we're nothing. We're not human. Choice is pretty much Burgess's entire argument for what makes us human. So Parker, this book is awesome. You should definitely try reading it, even though the language is very difficult to get through at times. It really actually kind of reminds me of some of the philosophy books I've read in the way Burgess kind of structures his argument, if that makes any sense at all. I guess, trigger warning, there is a lot of violence and such in both the book and the movie, so if you're like squeamish, I don't know if I would recommend them at all. But I'll see you tomorrow, Parker. DFTBA. Stay super.